We are live. It's
Que,
alive.
que tal, hombre?
Sir, my wife is relentlessly bothering me to buy her a Jeep.
You
And
know, my daughter likes Jeeps a lot too.
I
Um,
refuse.
well, it's the gas guzzling thing for
Yeah,
my daughter. When she
from
found out, she's like, "These only get 20 miles a gallon." I said,
please,
"If
if
you're
you're
on the
lucky.
highway."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, I am not buying a vehicle that's going to contribute further to this bullshit in this planet. We've got we have a plug-in hybrid minivan, and we can 90% of the driving we do is all electric. And so it's like, unless we do a road trip. So I'm spending no money on gas mostly. And I'm, not burning it. So,
Well, I don't know, but I still remember having some fun times and some
oh, they're
Jeeps at the
fun.
beach, man.
Well, the reason she's on me is we had to rent one. Had to rent a car because our van's in the shop, right? So rented a car for her to use for over the next 24 hours. And of course, it was a huge mistake to think I would get brownie points for upgrading to the Jeep because I know how much she loves driving a Jeep. Now she and both kids are like, we must have a Jeep. And I'm like, we are
Don't
not
they have
having
electric?
a Jeep.
I think they
I
have
don't
electric
think they
versions,
do.
don't they?
I would,
Hey,
if
you're
they
talking about like
did,
a Jeep Cherokee.
if we did, it would be in the realm of possibilities.
All right, hold on, buddy. Maybe I'm a dream granter right now. All right,
Plug-in electric Wrangler.
Yep.
Holy
September 29th,
shit.
in time with Pumptober and the Alchemex Tesla play. Well, Tesla just got pumped.
And that's their starting base on that's cheaper than what I paid for this fucking van.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that the teenage kids are loving the minivan about now.
Now the question is, do I tell my wife?
No, she already knows it.
No, she doesn't. She would have brought it up immediately.
How much is this? This actually looks pretty good.
Base is 51.
Yeah, remember those old Jeep Cherokees? I think it was the grand one that had that sort of like wood paneling on the side of it. And it was kind of the go out to the country, like sort of picnic ride back in the day. I can't remember. It wasn't maybe it was a Suburban I'm thinking of, but yeah, those are fun times.
Damn.
But this could be the answer. And same with my daughter. She was wanting a Jeep and more like a Wrangler kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then she realized they just got horrible mileage and that they were gas guzzlers. And I said, well, yeah, they always have been. But, she doesn't know about the electric one yet. So if there's like a Jeep, of course, it's going to be like 80 grand. And, I remember having a Jeep at the beach. And I think I paid $500 for it or something and could drive it around.
It sucks. It's only 21 miles all electric. I get 30 on the van, but still it's better than.
Well, it says they have a Wrangler plug-in already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying for the Wrangler. Yeah. I'm looking at the Wrangler plug-in. Okay, we probably shouldn't shop the cars on the show. Yeah. But that's what, all that money I'm going to make on Smart Coin is going to pay for that bad boy.
No, that's smart. Smart money at work here.
The funniest fuck thing is I'm still in profit and it's down to 0.034.
Well, it's like musical chairs. I think you want to get out when there's like 4 or 5 seats left. You don't want to be battling it out for the last one.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck it. I'm in profit. I want to see what the tokenomics are going to be on this coin and what they're planning. They keep claiming it's going to be better than Olympus DAO. And that's some big ass claims. If it's a complete joke relative to Olympus DAO, which that's my suspicion, then I'm dumping everything along with 5,000 other dudes. But if it's close, I will. If it's close to what Olympus is doing in terms of a reserve currency.
But weren't these guys talking at the beginning that, hey, this is a game, a test, joke, all that?
Yeah.
So would you say that they're like going to be a better Ohm or better Olympus? To me, that requires some amount of premeditated effort.
I would think so. Yes.
So I'd err toward these guys are just going for whatever message they can.
Who knows? Now, what's interesting is, and that doesn't give me a lot of confidence, is But by the way, I've tried again to get them yesterday on the show, and they're like, no, we're not doing anything till we release the new tokenomics. I'm like, well, I'm talking about you every day. So, and it may not be exactly what you want me to be saying. So maybe you should take the opportunity to come on and have your, coin holders ask questions.
Well, that's an important point, because I was coming to the realization last week that, technically we're journalists.
Right.
So we have a lot of constitutional protections for being journalists. So anyway,
they hit max supply last night, right?
Smart coin?
1 billion was the max supply. And they hit 946 million, and they're burning 54 million. So here's the things that gives me pause. Number one, they screwed up on the smart contract and didn't account for it hitting max supply on the emissions. And so now it broke your ability to claim. Okay. Oh, and I'm going to share the fucking screen now.
Yeah, there you go.
You were supposed to remind me, dude.
Sorry.
I'm going to share the screen now, but that broke, and something else. And I was like, okay, doesn't give me a lot of confidence we're going to see Olympus DAO level big brain shit here, but who knows? Let's see. Maybe, they didn't plan for that piece because they were so worried about this intense, amazing shit they were going to be building. Now, the thing that gives me hope is that we've actually hit max supply on a token, right? So what I'm curious about is what this new smarter token that you can swap for is going to be like. So this is so much fun to me. As long as I'm over break even, I'm going to ride this thing out and see what happens.
Well, I heard that, after they had launched the smarter token, behind that, it's the smarter Doge token. And then behind that is the smarter Doge Wall Street Bets /GameStop /AMC token. So that's their roadmap, baby.
I think they're going to launch a securitized exchange. I don't know. Anyway, it's fun.
There was this funny banking stuff going on. I'm sure it still goes on in London. Back, this is 10 years ago, or whatever. They called it hypothecating. And so it's where, people were you had an idea. Thank you for that. You had an idea, and you would basically, it was, financial projections and NewCo shit, it was all in the future. And then there were groups that would actually value these and peg it to something. So it had real value. And they call it hypothecating. I think it came out of some Lloyd's guys and some other, hey, we got so much money, we got to figure out something to do with it. And so they started hypothecating, making something out of nothing, essentially, to where it had real value. So when I look at something like this, I always think that there's, again, velocity of capital, capital allocation to projects that deserve it. This is all startup market stuff. And these are just different ways to sort of orient capital around enterprise or ideas. Right. And a lot of it's going to be shitty. Again, we talked about this yesterday. I remember reading once there was 10,000 mining stocks out there, in 1900, or there was 15, 20,000 railroads, and and all of that stuff that and now where there's not that many. In cars is easy, it's 8,000 to 3 or 2 or something.
Yeah.
That shit happens. Were all the other ones fraudulent, shitty ones? No, I think a lot of them were people had good ideas and market didn't go their way. Others were hey, I'm just going to stake my flag and try to survive and eke out something. And they built something and got rolled up into something or went out of business or whatever. And then some are just outright, steal the money kind of operations. So you can't, you're going to see more here because people think they're more anonymous, but it's just, Wall Street came around to sell those types of investments to people who had money. And in this world, you can do it. You don't need the physical co-location with the buyers and the sellers, which makes this so incredibly interesting. So with this smart Doge, whatever's coming next, these are bets to me.
No, that's all this is. It's like me putting money on the Jets to win the Super Bowl. I'm never going to win that bet. Maybe this one I'll get a couple $100 out of it.
Well, or you could bet on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win the Super Bowl, and you probably have better odds. But
but I'm not a Bucs fan.
Yeah, or somebody else. Yeah, anybody. But to me, I think these are ones that when you're up, you get out.
Yep.
But I think there's enough runway here that you could miss time it 2 or 3 times and probably still have a chance.
What I'm having fun with? What I'm having fun with in this, and I think this is going to help us on some of the projects we're working on. What I'm having fun with this is watching myself, right? So looking at how I react to their communications, right? They claim they're hiding hints in their tweets, and they're, rolling this thing out in the 10 phases, and we're in phase 2 or 3 or whatever. By the way, I just sent the SmartCoin guys another invite in DMs just for shits and giggles, telling them to join us right now that we're talking about them. So
they're probably just trying not to show intent.
I think they're scared.
Yeah. Which I would be. Sorry, guys. You might be good guys, but you're the poster child for what they're coming for.
But what's interesting is watching how I react to it, right? No matter what I do, there's an initial emotional reaction. It's not a ton of money, but it's money. And so I like observing how I react, and then I'm monitoring the Telegram to watch how everyone there reacts to their communications, and they're teasing it out, and the changes in the APR when it doubles, et cetera, et cetera. So it's fascinating to me how I felt when it hit. When I went to bed last night, I was like, oh, it's going to hit max supply before I go to bed. This could change the whole game, right? So I'm like talking myself into this thing having more potential. So anyway, to me, the psychology of it's fun because that's the way I like to trade, right? I like trading off other people's psychology when I'm trading on centralized exchanges. So for me, this is really fascinating to be in it while I'm kind of watching it. So we'll see what happens.
Well, you learn about yourself. And it seems to me I haven't participated in this enterprising scheme yet myself, but it seems to be it's something.
You're too late. You can't get the smarter bonus.
Ah, damn. I watched those things. There was one that everybody was in. I don't remember what it was called, or I don't want to piss anybody off, but I watched them just roll from chain to chain to chain. And I'm like, so what's it going to do though? So I get it. You make incentives, but eventually there has to be that kind of like, so what moment. And, what I see with this one is that, maybe this is another way to like, there was ICOs 5 years ago, and then IEOs and the IDOs and ILOs, and now I think the liquidity farming now is liquidity mining is functioning in that type of a capacity now for startup projects. I mean, this could be something where, like, what if you had options, like when that bar was getting closer to the double up reward, you could spin a gachapon machine and accelerate your portion of something. Or what if, like the geyser concept, what if there was a way when you were approaching these inflection points where you could double down, or you could dollar cost average?
Look, they've been playing it beautifully. The whole I almost did DCA yesterday. When it got down to like 3.8 or 9, I was like, oh boy, I think when this hits max, there's still going to be some bump on this thing. Maybe I should jump in, but I didn't.
It's hard. I kind of go through that I'm looking at a lot of curve right now, of course. And, I'm like, shit, man, I'm up like, 7X or something like that, or 10X. What should I do? And, and I go back and I look at the comparables with, the market cap TVL comparisons with the others. And I'm going, this still has like, 3X to go, I think. And, but, you think, should I trim it? And so then I just decided, well, Define's kind of like waiting on routers. So I'll take all the mine Define and buy Curve with it because it's free. So that I'm zero costing in Curve onto, my already preposterously low cost to get in. And you play games like that. So, to me, I think that this could be something smart, could be something that sort of sits on all of those and helps you make a decision of whether to sell or stay or what to do. And,
it would be cool if I could, because I can't move these, I can't transfer these. But if I had done this in a clean new wallet, I think from now on, anything I degen into, I'm going to do in a new clean wallet. It'd be cool if I could sell the wallet as an NFT.
Yeah.
Right. And then let somebody else jump into this that wants to.
Well, I think you'd have to do that one properly. You'd probably have to fractionalize it and securitize it, like that one written about in Bloomberg.
Yeah.
Where, we do like, you sell me, 0.001% of said NFT for 10 ETH.
Right.
Which then implies a valuation of infinity or something like that, some monstrously. But, because I think that's where this, again, velocity of capital and all of that, creating new fresh capital out of stagnant capital, everything has to cycle. And so you're going to see these really wacky things happen. And some will make it and some will wash out. I mean, that's the risk reward paradigm. But yeah, no, I haven't really. I've been playing in the time in Wonderland.
Oh yeah, how you doing there?
Goes out. Yeah, I think I'm doing all right. I mean, it looks like it's going up. I mean, stuff was down. I sold the one over on the wrap memo over on Phantom just because I had doubled that, and I was like, I'm just gonna, if I'm on it on Avalanche, I must just stick around there, and move some of the proceeds over to Avalanche to buy there and just hold it till I figure out what to do. But I did see some interesting pools on Trader Joe's, some AVAX paired with other stuff that looked kind of interesting, and then I also saw in actually Sif Chain itself. I want to talk about this one next, about Atom and Cosmos more. They have some pretty interesting pools on Sif Chain proper that were some pretty decent yields and things like that. So it's definitely, as my Cosmos theme of between the layers, so to speak. Should start looking there if anyone's interested.
Okay. What's up, Joe?
No, I'm looking at your screen right there, trying to figure out. It's because I have you on a small screen, and I need to dial.
Oh no, I hopped over to DeFi Llama. Yeah. Oh, I got some guys from kind of like a cross between DeFi Llama and Dune, where you build your own charts and data feeds. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to publicize them here now because they're trying to pitch us some kind of sponsorship arrangement. So really? If nothing else, you and I will get lifetime out of it. But the tools are really nice. I was actually pretty impressed with the tool. Their chain reach and project reach isn't deep enough yet. But anyway, I'm going to do a call with them, and maybe we'll get a little something.
Yeah, I think that's the model, and we also need to put up a tin cup thing for donations. Just
because,
I think that I can see how people are moving in and out of different pools that we're actually talking about, and it's interesting to see that people are doing well in these. So I think that they're liking it. I mean, again, quick swap on Polygon's got a ton of pools in the 7.6 million range APR. I personally pulled out of the Mona USDT one just because my Mona was all up, and I'm like, I need to bank something. And so I just sold it into like the other coins that I like, Rowan and Matrix Swap and PBR and Router, just because I want to do it. But still, that yield is, I was kicking myself doing it, but it's still at 111,000% APR. And there's a PBR, Polka Bridge, USDT on there for almost 2,000%. And, I love those stablecoin pairings. So but I have the PBR pool on Define where I'm earning like, 10 PBR a day on that one plus Define. So I kind of like that, even though it's a lower yield. I like the fact that I'm getting a decent chunk of PBR every day. Because, what I do is I decide what's the number of the stack that I want in those smaller ones. Right. And once I get to it, then I stop accumulating. And so I move to another one. So I did do that, but there's lots of good stuff there. Lots of good stuff on Define right now. The Define Uni pool looks pretty interesting. Define Luna looks interesting. Define Link, all good ones. that are there. So that's where I'm doing most of the.
Why? Oh, because I'm on the wrong friggin' protocol.
Yeah, that's
Oh, we didn't look at. Let's look at what's available on DeFi with Phantom. Have you done that?
with what?
They launched Phantom support. Not much yet.
Yeah, I haven't.
Just a few
I haven't been
farms.
over there yet.
What are we at? 600% for DeFi and Phantom.
Yeah,
517 for it. 517% for DeFi and USDC. These are their Phantom farms they have up, 4 of them.
Okay. And you're hooked up to Phantom Network?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing Popular Farms. Got it. Okay.
I got some extra sitting over there. I've got some extra sitting in the Phantom wallet. I might dive in on some of these just for shits and giggles.
Heck yeah, look at that. I mean, the defined USDC one, again, the stable pair.
Yep.
Where could you get 72% on a BTC ETH pair?
Yeah, that's friggin' hot.
Yeah, I'd be all over that one if I was sitting on some BTC. And then
I'm sitting on a nice chunk of WETH. I think I'm going to move that WETH over there.
Yeah, and then of course define FTM. I mean,
woo!
It's like
I am so going to move. I got. I'm not going to say how much, but I have an ample amount of WETH I could move over there.
Yeah, because that's people ask me sometimes, why do I park all the ETH and WETH on Aave? And I'm like, it's just because of what you just said. It's because I believe it's got long-term upside. I don't want to sell it.
Yeah.
So I borrow on it. So if you can bring that WETH over here and park it with, which one was it? BTC. Hell yeah. Like, why not at that rate?
Yeah.
I like to define FTM one myself. But then I look at define USDC and I'm only giving up 80% APR and I'm paired with the stable. That's probably the best play there. 517% for a stable pair.
Beautiful.
But yeah, so this is.
Look at this. 34.39% for USDC USDT.
I know, that's crazy.
But this one, I love this bet because I stack both of these. So what,
BTC and ETH?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I?
The only other play would be to put it on a lending platform.
Right. And you could put it on the lending platform and come back over.
Yeah. Borrow let's just say you had 10 grand and again, we're not talking specific numbers, but the math is easier. You could borrow probably up to 75%. I'm sure I know for sure on the ETH side, but BTC I think is that high too.
I probably wouldn't leverage that much up.
No, I know, but you
could.
Yeah. So you take 5 grand, let's say. So it leaves you enough cushion. Then you divvy it up and you'd probably go for the defined USDC at that point because you want the yield. Because the reward is defined. Put it in there, and then take whatever you get off of it and use it to buy equal portions of BTC and ETH.
Yep.
So boom, you're converting it instantaneously. You're growing that stack at 517% APR.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and you're growing Fortune 1 and Fortune 2, basically.
I still didn't dive on. I still have not jumped in on leveraging my own.
Your own?
On Rari, which, that's the 9-9 play for Olympus is you you get your staked ohm, your S ohm. You take your S ohm, you borrow against it, you buy with what you leverage. You take that, you immediately buy more ohm, stake that ohm, and then you leverage that ohm, and you do that down. And there's this cool calculator that the calculator guy who will be on tomorrow. He's calculated out how many times you rotate through those. And what you end up with. So here's a couple of his other calculators.
I like that. I mean, I just don't, I'm just too terrified of getting liquidated.
So I played with it the other day, and I played with it sitting his calculator puts I don't have it open right now. I'd show it, but his calculator puts the liquidation price, so you put in how much you want to borrow against the value of what you have, right? And then it tells you your percentage interest, and your liquidation price. I feel like I'm pretty friggin' safe with Olympus DAO right now if I put it down at like $150 per ohm, right? We're trading at 1,100 something right now,
I think
so
okay.
I feel really comfortable with that. And I feel comfortable with being able to cover it if that price started dropping,
Wait, so 150 delta down or getting to $150?
If the price drops to $150, then you'd get liquidated, right? So it's a nice conservative bet. It's not like, it's whatever.
It's not like
it's like 20% of what you're holding, but that 20% exponential growth in the ohm that you're minting in the staking is unbelievable, right? Especially if ohm continues on this path that it's on. Now, in fairness, everyone needs to realize that the whole concept of ohm is that at some point it really stabilizes, right? This is not something that gets to beyond, maybe it gets up to like a $10,000 price point at some point, but it's meant to stabilize. It's meant to be a reserve currency. It's meant to replace what the Fed does. So the idea is that eventually it reaches this nice stable point, and he's gamed out the numbers to where he thinks that is. So his biggest fear, what he called the valley of death, was the $600 to $800 price range. He said in his models, when shit went wrong, it was when ohm was at between 600 to 800. It was rare, but in the models that was the like weird range of, if there was a cascading dump, that's where it would fail, right?
For a lot of people would punch the nuke button at that
point. Exactly. So and leveraging probably scales that up. I don't know how much he considered leverage beforehand, right? But they have so much friggin' money now. They own all of their liquidity to the tune of, I don't know, what is it up to, $1 billion now or something? It's nuts. It's nuts. Anyway.
Yeah, I can't remember. I'm not as deep. I haven't done anything with them at all. So I missed it. I remember when this shit was like 100 and something, and everybody was talking about it, and I think I was on vacation, and so you miss them occasionally too, and I don't want to chase it, but at the same time, it looks pretty interesting. So if I was coming in fresh.
Well, look at this. You come in with 15 ohm right now, right? At today's price, that's $15,613. So let's just surmise that.
Okay.
Let's say you wanted to get to $1 million. That's 342 days at the current rebase level in price, right?
Well, that about sums it up pretty well.
It's like, holy shit. So, and maybe you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to extend that out 6 months because maybe the price drops down to 600 and maybe the rebase rate drops down to whatever it is. Down, I think it's at 40 right now, 0.40. So maybe it drops down to 0.30 because so many people pile into this. But at the end of the day, it's pretty amazing. At 6 months, you're at 139,000 in value, and 1 year is 1,320,000 in value from a $15,000 investment.
That's what I love when you look at this, because I remember when we used to be doing that daily compounding calculator all the time back when we were first starting to figure this out.
Yeah,
and you'd always see that like that last month is the key month of that 12-month cycle.
Right.
You're like, that's when you double basically.
Well, let's say you wanted to skim 10,000 a week off of it. You got to get to 108 ohm, and that'll take you 162 days from now.
Yeah.
So essentially you could build yourself up to, 120 grand a year. $480,000 $480,000 in annual revenue if you get to 108 ohm at the current rates.
Yeah, I have to dig deeper because I don't understand where the price comes from for it, other than like, I heard you reference like a stable coin concept. and I don't know what their value prop is. Like, what is
So
the
their value
underlying
prop is all
currencies?
this bonding model, right? So the entire
People locked up, people locking up.
98% of the tokens are locked in staking.
Because I see some panic sometimes in some of the channels, and people were like, I don't know if this is inverse or own, but people are like, only a couple more days to go. I hope it doesn't tank, because everybody's sweating bullets waiting for it.
Yeah, no, this one, it's just a constant stream of tokens. So the idea behind it is that they sell these bonds so they control all their liquidity. So when you own your liquidity, you don't care about impermanent loss, right? And you're not out trying to get people to yield farm and constantly be dumping every time they get their emissions, they get their rewards, right? So the idea is you're building this entirely stable economy around this token, because the incentive is to never sell because the staking rewards are so high, right? And the bonds allow you to buy more ohm at a discount, and so you can get a higher return and stack more, but also other pairs that they bring in, so Frax and others that you can buy in their bonds. And now they've released bonding as a service. So Alchemex, a lot of major tokens who want to own their liquidity and see how incredibly valuable and stable this has been are launching their own bonds on Olympus Pro. And Olympus gets 3% of all of that. So anyway, it's
no, that's important, because
yeah.
A lot of times these liquidity pools for the listeners can be set up by anybody at any ratio.
Yep.
And so if you think about the rewards coming into the buyback fund pools, and the people that have LP tokens staked, their share of the fees, if you own most of that liquidity, then those fees go to you.
Yeah.
So that's a major revenue stream.
Oh,
so
dude, it's like massive.
Yeah. So that's like we keep talking about, the income statement and where the revenue comes from and the cash flow and things, that's a whole new one.
Yep.
So, I think that's interesting. So as long as nobody ever sells.
Right. Well, I mean, look, they've had nice dumps here.
Right? I remember that dump. I remember the one on the right, that steep one.
This one here.
About that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I was in that, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, but I never panicked. I just never, I was like, well, look at, when I look at how much is in there and how many people are staking and how fervent. I mean, I was listening into their DAO call yesterday, and they have hardcore institutional dudes in there helping with all kinds of planning. An entire marketing agency is volunteering their time to help them with branding and marketing and copywriting, blah, 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 because they've invested in it, right? It's like they have this community that is buttoned up. They have full departments set up. They have responsibilities. People have to apply to take on roles in the DAO. They're just, I don't know, they're firing on all cylinders. To me, this is how this kind of liquidity stuff and this kind of a model is where we're going. This is the DeFi 2.0 stuff that I really love. So,
well, how do you think, compare this to Wonderland?
So Wonderland is a direct fork of this.
Right.
And Wonderland is giving back 33% of all revenue to Ohm, because the developer at Wonderland is also the developer of Abracadabra.
Oh, Danielle or something.
Danielle.
Like that?
And they are buds with Zeus from Ohm. So this was that's a sanctioned fork. Klima is also a sanctioned fork of Ohm. So, they're creating an ecosystem now across chains without having to manage every single instance of all of this, right? So the Wonderland community creates their own shit, and
No, it sort of like follows on that thesis of in between the chains. When we look at like Atom and Cosmos, you kind of see this as running at a similar track across chains. So it's, even though it oriented first off of ETH, right? It's a layer one. Yeah.
Yes.
That it seems to be one of those ones that's migrating into like the omni-chain, meta-chain, whatever you want to call it, but all of them in ways that, even like Aave, I was thinking something about with their how they're characterizing things now. And I think I was looking on DeFi Llama earlier, and I didn't realize that Aave was something like 8% of the total TVL in the market, which means Curve's right there too. Yeah, Aave dominance 7.93%. So Curve is 7.85 or something.
Yep. Here's your Wonderland calculator. So you can get to 1 million with your 15 time. Oh, well, that worth, let's get to 15,000. Let's do the same comparison.
Yeah, so maybe time is about
2.5.
7,500. Okay.
Not even.
What is it right now? I thought it was like 7,500 or something. There was that.
It is
dip.
274 something. Okay, so 2.1 time, right? You
Yep.
get $1 million in 235 days at the current rate of 63,000%. 10,000 in weekly income gets you there in 90 days. And 6 months, you're at 375,000. And 1 year is $9,860,000.
Yeah, I mean, I threw a couple grand at this one just to see what happens. Just like I looked at Geist the same way on Phantom.
Right.
That, I mean, these got some room to run. I mean, if you think that regardless of the merits of any of these models long term, short term, they've got legs. In medium term, I think they've got legs. And, particularly when you look at all the new capital flooding in now, or soon to be, or will keep coming as new products become more available for mainstream types. These are things to look at. I mean, I'm definitely going to look at Wonderland more. I mean, my thinking with Geist is that, damn, they're like giving me like 1,000 a month.
Where are you doing that? You're doing that on Geist, right?
Yeah, on Phantom.
What's the Geist URL? Is it Geist.finance?
I think so. Hold on, Phantom.
Oh yeah, it is Geist.finance. It pre-filled.
Yeah, and then a spooky swap for the exchanges and the staking.
By the way, I had a busy fucking morning. 200 plus MTF signals this morning.
Oh, I can imagine. After that, like, what
made
time
like
was that one?
Made like 2.5 points on the fund for the client, so that was fun.
Yeah, the 4 a.m. action or 3:30 or something.
Yeah, I got up and saw the mess and just started DCAing and watching them close. They've been
look. So I'm looking at the Binance ETH chart right now, and hovering around 4,000 both ways. But if you look at the 3,900 line, there's $28 million there, 27 million on the 38, 13 million on the 37, 14 million on 36, 24.4 million on 35. Those numbers were not there 3 months ago.
No,
they just weren't.
Not even close.
And that's one exchange.
Yep.
So to me, I'm like, so when you see those things where it went from like 4,300, kind of a little slow bleed from like 12 to 3 and then an acceleration. But then that candle wick down I'm looking at 15-minute candles at maybe 4-ish. I mean, that got half of that got eaten back up. So it bounced. And now it's just holding steady where everybody's trying to figure out what happens next. I think it's a non-event at this point, when it rebounds like this. So when I look at things like what we're talking about, Geist and Ohm and things, there's not the collapse out there that there used to be. At least I don't think it's there.
No, I don't either.
So
look, we're hitting DeFi 2.0. We're hitting a world where people are actually really thinking about liquidity, stability. How do we make this thing work? How do we make it work for people that are in the community, people that are investing, people that are staking? How do we make it so our project can sustain itself, right? Most projects for the last couple of years, boom, 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 because of yield farming, and then dump when everybody dumps and gets tired of the project, and it's another fucking zombie coin. There are players in the space that are really thinking about it. And look, it's what you were kind of talking about earlier. We are learning. This is just the evolution of it. It's just happening very fast. We're evolving how we handle liquidity. We're evolving how we handle tokenomics and project structure. We're evolving what a DAO is and how it functions and how to make it better. And it's going to suck because, look, eventually a lot of these funds are going to get bled away from the big blue chip stability guys until the institutional money comes in, and then they'll all jump into the big ones. But these guys, look, there are people that are actually writing articles about and this sounds insane, about Ohm replacing Bitcoin as the flagship cryptocurrency. And the reason for that is that underneath it, the fundamentals, and it's early, but the fundamentals are much more solid than mining and exchange trading. So, it's an interesting time. I'm having so much fun watching kind of people evolve. Like when I got on the call with Scoopy from Alchemix, and he walked me through their version 2.0. I mean, I was already blown away by what those guys had created with self-paying loans. The version 2.0 is insanity. It's absolute insanity. And it opens the door to connecting us, DeFi, to the rest of the world, right? And that's the path I wanted to see. That's why I bought Alchemix in the first place, because I thought it had the potential eventually to connect to car dealers and mortgage places and all of that, right? And that's why I loved it so much. Well, they're doing that on fucking steroids. It's insane what they're doing. So anyway, what I think is going to happen is these DeFi 2.0 guys, all these guys that are thinking big brain smart shit like this, they're going to continue to bond together and to start interconnecting. And they're going to create an ecosystem of the things that have high returns and lots of potential, have big potential in the real world, but are thought about as things that need to be more stable. And so I think we're seeing that. And I think in a year from now, we're going to see some really kind of amazing, the way these projects all start feeding each other, Rari, Alchemix, Ohm, Wonderland, and others, it's going to be incredible the way they interact.
Yeah. Well, with the velocity of capital comes velocity of transactions, and the higher velocity of transactions, better price stability and the better ability to absorb like a whale-sized sale without the price tanking. So when you look at all those things, I mean, I was thinking about even smart coin. There's ways, you could write an algorithm on how to use that to hedge against loss in another token, let's say, or how to use that model to somehow farm it into other tokens and coins. So so this speed is going faster and faster. And I think what you're kind of alluding to with the Alchemix thing is that, look, there's all this capital that's tied up in assets. If you look at a corporate set of financial statements, you always see something, the return on investment, ROI stuff. You see return on equity, ROE, and return on assets, ROA. So, all this is like dead asset weight out there. I mean, your home, you get a home equity loan. Your car, I guess you can get a payday loan. Your IP, whatever the market can bear. So you have all these things that are sort of sitting there that you can't access when you need capital,
right?
Efficiently, and
right?
So
easily,
easily, efficiently. Think about this. Like when I go to do Aave stuff, I mean, you just show up, deposit it, and you got your money in like 25 seconds.
Exactly.
And they don't know, no name, no nothing, no credit checks, no nothing. It's just, you can put your money on the barrelhead, you can get your stuff basically.
That's it. You don't have to ask anybody permission, right?
There's no people.
Right now, it's the people with assets. That's going to start getting, there'll start being more stuff for non-collateralized loans. There's a few providers out there trying to do some stuff. Social scoring, similar to some of the financial world is doing now, where younger people who aren't establishing credit but have social scoring and demographic scoring and all kinds of stuff to get credit. All of that'll start moving into this. But even in the short term, like you said, if you think about how many assets are just sitting out there idle, and I guarantee you there's a big percentage of people sitting on $1.5 million home who do not want to even deal with the fucking bank and the applications and the title checks and the bullshit and everything else. Well, guess what? Somebody's going to become the connector, right? They're going to do, like, I was just listening to the founder of Zillow and how they kind of approach this whole real estate market. And I'm thinking, they have a model now where they just go in and make it. If you're looking at your house on Zillow, they'll make you an offer.
Yeah.
And in a few days, you've sold your house at a decent price without any of the bullshit, right? Well, Zillow is saying, let's get rid of all the bullshit. So somebody is going to end up being a layer between equity and Alchemix, right? And now anything you wanted to do, invest money, fix up your home, buy a new car, pay for college, become an angel investor, buy an NBA franchise, whatever it is, you'll be able to do it. And you don't have to ask anybody's permission to get the money. And that's going to make a dramatic, and I tell you what, that's another thing that's going to happen is it's going to make a dramatic shift in the minds of people that aren't in DeFi. They're going to say, holy fuck, I can get $50,000 out in 5 seconds and I can go do the things I want to do. And I don't have to ask anybody for permission. And I don't have to pay that loan back.
And I don't have to sell the original crypto.
Exactly. People are going to be flipping out. And the people that build the bridges between them and us and Alchemix and Ohm, those are the people. That's going to be big money. That's going to be huge money because you're just going to be building the connections, the technical connections between them for different verticals. And you're just going to be taking a piece of everything that comes through. It's going to be a big, big industry.
Yeah. The toll booth strategy, one of my favorites. Yeah, I think that this is, at the end of the day, how is it sustainable for hundreds of years? I don't know. But is it practical now? And is it advantageous now to do stuff with it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Particularly Alchemix, where you don't have to pay it back.
Exactly.
So to me, I like that as a hedge as well, because, even though I don't think this is going to happen, but if, some super currency comes up in Ether or BTC goes in the tank, then you still, kind of hedge yourself at 50% just by doing this transaction. So to me, that helps a lot in that worst case scenario. I don't think that happens, but at the same time, I think that, obviously the yield has to be gotten somewhere. So to me, I don't see it. This velocity of capital just keeps creating more yield. I'm not going to say it's infinite because I don't think that's possible, but I definitely think that that this goes on as far as I can see at this point, which is, all we need to see at this stage. Yeah. So, like my daughter came up to me the other day and said, did you know the sun's going to run out of energy? I said, yeah, it's 4.5 billion years or something like that. It's like, who the fuck cares? Learn to not think about that stuff. So, it's the same kind of thing. I have a feeling that this has an expiration date, but I don't think it's well, look, it's only if it spins up so high that there's not exits.
I think it'll evolve. I mean, it's some of those things you and I were talking about the other day about building perpetual incomes that people don't have to work for, right? Incomes that let people invest in automation and robotics and artificial intelligence that gets rid of the need for people to do shitty fucking jobs. That to me is a huge promise in this thing. And there's a couple of people playing on the UBI front, but there is the potential for people to say, an employer to say to Sally, who's working at the counter at McDonald's or at Joe's Burger Shop, you know what? Instead of your 401k, I'm going to match 10% into A, B, or C, or D protocol. And every day you're going to earn more crypto and you can access and do anything you want with that anytime. You can borrow against it. And somebody has a dashboard for that, right? It's like, and you're getting paid in a stable coin. You're not getting paid in USD, right? So, look, I think there's just a ton of things that people are going to start realizing. And I think that those things that open the door out to the other folks are going to make the regulators and Congress say, oh, wait a minute. These people are going to be really pissed off if they can't access their money anymore. So,
yeah, I remember accessing these, in the olden days, this type of finance, you really couldn't get access in the US. there was some interesting stuff in Switzerland done with insurance products and things like that, where you could get these. I remember one group was doing something with third world debt that was guaranteed in EU or euros or something, and then you would basically pair it up with something, God, like a liquidity pool perhaps, and then sell it in New York at like 100 bips, 1% profit, let's say.
Shit!
What?
There's a cream exploit. Somebody said
I heard about that
for $1 billion.
Yeah, I heard something like that.
Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. But it was that arbitrage you could get. There was some like tax benefit in Switzerland, and these sort of bad third world like development loans that there was some angle within the regulatory framework there where you could make those couple of percent returns and then sell it as a security in New York, and then people could buy it, and then they got a discount on some Euro bonds or something. But the idea was that it's unregulated financial product. So the guys that I was with were in New York at big bulge bracket investment bank, and essentially the meeting didn't last very long because that company couldn't do the deals in Switzerland like that. So now you see that anybody can access this kind of stuff that you couldn't before. It was like the leverage and things that you could get in Switzerland and other markets. Well, you can access all that now in crypto. So to me, I kind of think that that this is sort of a man of the people play, democratization, all that you can use in different ways that we don't even know how it's going to all turn out, because force multipliers with user numbers and things like that. How does that accelerate the velocity of capital further? All those viral things that we haven't seen yet. Because this is usually a back room. These are like the old back room, wood paneled, cigar smoke filled room deals.
Exactly.
And and you could get access to them now here. Some probably just as shady as those backroom deals, but at the same time, it's caveat emptor and all that.
Exactly. That's the thing. That's the bottom line.
So,
we have rambled along today. Did you have some specific things you wanted to point out? We're running up on 1 o'clock here.
Yeah, there was a couple of things real fast.
I loaded something up and now I can't find it.
Where's the DeFi launch channel? Okay. So,
I loaded up your link and now I can't find it.
I think it's on Moon River. I'm seeing a lot of talk about Huckleberry DEX and something called FINN, FINN, with, has that I think an impermanent loss angle to it and some reward multipliers of some type. I haven't gotten there yet, honestly. I think it's Moon River. Huckleberry Finance. Then also I saw something about Olympus DAO doing there's an AMA on October 30th at 5.
Oh, that's the new Olympus Pro partners. So that's the people that are using the bonding service.
Okay, and then this one is,
let me load this Huckleberry DEX up.
Yeah, and then also I loaded up a YouTube link for the Cosmos, the Atom token for their Signal product.
Yeah, I'll put that in the show notes.
It's pretty, you should watch this video, everyone. It's pretty friggin' cool.
Really?
And you can see where they're going. It looks like go for everything concept.
Okay.
And the market cap's like 13 billion. So yeah, that's it. But it's.
Can you hear that?
Oh yeah, I can hear it.
The video?
Yes. Now I can't.
Okay. I want to try something.
Take it full screen and see what.
Nah, I have to. Hold on. All right.
But it's definitely a between the layer ones play with an interesting angle around mobile wallets and mobile users and nodes kind of thing. That's pretty impressive.
It's going for the whole Steve Jobs look.
Oh yeah, total psychos, galaxy shit, Stargates and all this.
The black long sleeve shirt. It's just not a turtleneck.
Yeah. Looks like my running shirt.
Instead of a million blockchain apps competing for throughput on a single base layer, why not a million blockchain apps interconnected across a million sovereign blockchains?
What?
So the hub, Cosmos Hub, is the center of all these other blockchains. So games. So he's showing some other ones here.
But what blockchains?
All of them. You know,
Like any blockchain?
Ethereum.
He's
Yeah,
saying he'll be the hub for everything.
Well, Cosmos Hub will, I believe, and you know, as in it's sort of allows you to strap in all these other blockchains to it, and then for cross-chain price and you know
Liquidity.
AMM type applications, that it seems more streamlined. Now they're getting traction. So, and this is where Sif Chain came from too. They rode on Cosmos. It's been around for a while. I kind of think that
I'm sorry, I can't help but laugh every time you say
I know.
chain.
I know, syphilis chain. Yeah, hold on, man.
Well, just I picture those pictures. I picture the.
Well, I did read about some flesh-eating STD or whatever, and I was like, oh my god. And of course, the very last paragraph they say, "Oh, it's not really flesh-eating. It's just." And I'm like, who the fuck cares if it looks like it's flesh-eating? And it's flesh-eating. But so of course we still go back to that one central reason of being for the male. So I think the comparison I like to make of this is to Polkadot, actually. Not Sif Chain, but Cosmos. In that, you know, you don't see Polkadot mentioned a lot as a chain. Sometimes people do. You see it mentioned more as like an ecosystem or something. But then you see all these other cross-chain ones that are including Polkadot. So I kind of think that Cosmos fits more in like the Polkadot realm, or you know, more so than say Chainlink or something like that.
Yeah.
But you know, look at it. Think I'm in on that fund, the Erewhon Atom Fund on Quick Swaps. I think it's doing 600% or something.
Nice.
You know, I was thinking about getting more, to be honest, because this could be you know, a 50, for whatever these words mean, a 50 billion market cap play.
Right.
And it's at like 10, 12. So trading at what? 35, I think, something like that. So, you know, 150, 200 is sort of my price targets on this one.
Nice.
When I would look to be moving
personally, not anybody else should do what you do.
I always kind of just, when I'm coming into something, I sort of figure out two things. One, okay, where do I start selling some of this?
Right.
And two, if it's going down, I keep track on how many more are being added through farming and things like that to lower my average entry price.
Right.
So then when I'm looking to get out, then I revise for that if it's gone down. So maybe originally it was 2, and then I see it go down. So if I DCA or dollar cost down to like 30 cents a piece, you know, getting out at 80 cents can work, or $1.20, or at least start trimming. So, you know, that's what I always think about. So then I'm not sitting there going like with Curve, you know, it was at like 540 yesterday, I think. And it's like, what do I do? You know, I knew that I'd gotten in around 60 cents or something like that. So to me, I sold a little bit just because I'm like, you know, I still believe it. And I'm still buying it with defined emissions, but take the profits when you get to take the profits. Yeah. So yeah, this is pretty cool. This Forte, that's the thing. They did a big deal with Forte that gives them access to like 5 million different like NFT people that aren't crypto people, or gamers, gamers that are using. This is, that was.
So it's like an integration with a gaming platform.
Yeah, it says new Cosmos partnership seeks to expand blockchain gaming for players worldwide. 8 million active users across Forte partners games to seamlessly benefit from Cosmos multi-chain ecosystem. So it talks all about their Starport thing, about storing virtual assets, NFTs. They got 100, I think Forte got 185 million in Series A funding led by Griffin Gaming.
Cool.
10 million wallets, 5 million NFTs have been minted, 8 million active users. So to me, this is the type of partnership that makes a lot of sense.
Hell yeah.
All right. So that was the one thing. And then also there's a couple other ones in here: SCRT Secret and Osmosis, I believe. So somehow all these are rallying. This is
Nice.
today or yesterday, but 26th. And it secures this other thing. This total value lock is $130 billion.
Damn.
So that's the only one more than that, I believe, is Ethereum.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing.
Look, and it's a sleeper. So to me, I think do some research, everyone. It's definitely one I'm in. But the tipper for me was that 500% APY.
Yeah, of course.
Quick swaps.
Hell yeah.
I might not have leaned so far into it if it hadn't had that.
Yeah, well, that makes all the difference if you can offset any potential losses. So this is pretty interesting. This is Cream after the hack, 26% down, right? But look, here's the bottom line that's going to happen. The hacker got 100 million in a wallet or wallets, but that money isn't going to go anywhere.
It's already flagged.
Yeah, it's flagged. The centralized exchanges aren't going to let it off. Maybe he tries to get it over to Tornado Cash and wash it, whatever. Even if he walks away with all 100 million of it, Cream is not going out of business. It's like,
and they're not going to stop hunting him down either.
Exactly. And so probably what'll happen, he'll get to keep 10%. They'll get all the money back, 90% back. And this thing could potentially go right back to where it was. And look, it isn't even getting close to like December price levels, right? That's another 60% probably. So the question is this a good discount right now? This 25% drop. Do we see Cream back up to, 186 in a week?
What's the ticker again? Just Cream?
Cream,
CRM?
CREAM.
Cream Finance, right? Yeah, okay. These are becoming bug bounty programs.
Yeah.
So to me, I think, take the 10% and move on, because if you don't take this,
the hack is a bug bounty. Yeah.
Yeah. Then they're going to hire other people to come find you, and they're going to be paying them 20%.
Yeah.
So, you think somebody's not going to come find you for 20 million?
Exactly.
There's going to be a lot of people looking for it.
And think about the guys that are part of that 100 million. It's not just Cream that's going to come after you. You may not like the people. There may not be some very nice people coming after you for that 100 million.
Go ask those feeder fund guys that were going into Madoff. And, look at how many of those guys fell out of office building windows and, shot themselves in the head. It's pretty much all of them.
Exactly.
So, you're going to get big money comes, some pretty ruthless people. So I wouldn't want them looking for me. Let's put it that way.
Well, I like it.
I like it.
Let me see something. Does let me see if I got an MTF signal on this bad boy. I bet I did. I should. All right. Anything else exciting, dude?
That was about it. I think, plenty more that we could talk about. I did see one thing. I was on the Clark Moody Bitcoin dashboard today, and I thought it was interesting. I saw a metric there that I hadn't seen before, which was the corporate treasuries, like how much Bitcoin are held in corporate treasuries. And I'm assuming that's US only. But it was like, $98 billion.
Shit.
1.6 million BTC is held in corporate treasuries.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of surprising. I was like, wow, it's that big.
Crazy.
But, so you see these metrics that institutional guys are going to keep looking at.
Hell yeah.
Market cap to TVL, these kinds of things, on-chain inventory of tokens, all the things that show that the big money's coming into this space. So when I look at Cream, if I'm a big money Wall Street guy and I'm looking, I'm just looking for everything that takes a hit like this.
Yeah.
Every single one that drops. Did you get an alert on that one, by the way? On
I'm checking to see. I don't have alerts set on those because I can't automate them, but I'm going to check and see if I have the signal shown on the chart.
So here's the business I see right away. For some enterprising.
Oh yeah. Like even because it's traded on Binance. So
yeah. And FTX I saw too. So,
I want to see what it did on DeFi. Let's see what it did on Sushi or.
And what's their TVL? I
have no idea.
1.7 billion. and a market cap to TVL is only 0.04, which is pretty low. So, I mean, maybe because I just had a bunch of it taken, but
that might have an impact.
Yeah. But look, to me, look, you go from 155 to 105, you're back at 115.
Can I ask you, why the fuck does TradingView have an exchange called HoneySwap?
It was a flash loan attack too. So what the hell?
Oh, so it's just an exploit. It's not even a hack.
Flash loan.
Huh.
Yeah, well, so this shit happens.
Of course.
But, then it gets filed away. Just
exactly. So the question goes back to, I might buy a little cream today.
I think I'm just trying not to add new stuff at this point.
Speaking of syphilis.
Yeah. But you look, so go get your prophylactics on, basically.
See, not only are there dad jokes, there are dirty dad jokes.
Yeah, it's like, do you have your rubbers? It's just galoshes is another word for rubbers.
Yeah, exactly. For
the
the kids don't know what rubbers are.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, they know what rubbers are. They probably don't even call condoms rubbers anymore.
Jimmy hats, maybe? Jimmy hats? Always my favorite word, the Jimmy hat. And I remember
dude, you sound like you just stepped out of 1945.
I know. I feel like I'm doing a Mad Men episode. Minus the smoking and the drinking, which after that, you only have misogyny.
There you go.
So we have to be super careful having teenage daughters.
Yes.
But it says here the assailant borrowed $2 billion from Aave.
Assailant?
Yeah, the cream finance.
They used the word assailant, or did you use the word assailant?
No, they use it. in crypto briefing, the assailant.
The assailant.
So
does that mean the person that assaulted someone?
I guess he assaulted them of their $130 million worth of ETH-based tokens. I think the more important thing is, how do we get that $2 billion flash loan from Aave?
Yeah, but that has to be paid back. Yeah, an assailant is a person who physically attacks another person.
Okay, let's see what it says. He used a flash loan earlier today to borrow 524,000 ETH from Aave, then successfully drained cream finance of several DeFi tokens, making off with about 136 million at peak prices, according to Zerion. Transaction fees for the attack were 36,500. So those gas fees were cranking it. Let's see. Exploit cream V1 on Ethereum. Okay.
What's the math on that? I mean, what do you think about if you're an attacker? You say I'm willing to risk 10% in gas fees of what I have for this hack. What's the
break
risk
even
calculation? Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's
36 grand in fees. That's
I mean,
should be hacking Polygon and not fucking layer one, dumbass.
Yeah, exactly. The trick though is getting
that would have cost you 36 cents.
Yeah. So, but how did he get the 2B from Aave? And what did he have to post to get that?
Well, somebody earlier I saw.
Maybe that's the 36 grand.
I saw on the threads, I saw somebody say that it was an institutional wallet. And I'm like, maybe he got private keys of somebody, because I can't imagine an institution actually saying, oh, you know what, let me go in here and exploit this. Unless somebody's deciding they want to make a legal play to say, you can't fucking do a thing. I didn't break any law. I didn't steal anything. I just took advantage of the system.
Okay, it's saying since Cream's staked Ethereum 2.0 service is custodial, users may be reimbursed for the stolen Cream LP. Let's see. He also used a couple of different bridges. Okay, so total value lock on the protocol shrunk by 72%.
Holy shit. Yeah, okay, no, I'm not jumping into Cream right now. That's a big hit.
But still, I mean, that's a lot of people pulling out right now after the attack. So But losing 72% and the stock price only dropping by 27%.
Yeah.
To me, if you reverse those numbers, then I say pile in, but clearly the stock has not moved enough to reflect a 72% drop. But we got to go. Yeah, it's 110. So
yeah, man, I got to roll.
All right, man.
All right,
buddy. That's an ugly looking red wick there.
Yeah.
So keep a look at these. Got a bunch more to talk about tomorrow. But start paying attention to Atom and Cosmos, and Cream. I think I don't think it's going anywhere.
No.
So I think they'll throw in some more reward pools. Money comes back.
Yep.
They'll pay everybody who lost. Money comes back. It's just.
I think the thing though is people start to say, well, let me look at some of these other new shit, right? That's the risk. Is you only get like 20% back because everybody's kind of like, there's a lot of new lending protocols out there and stuff I can do. Maybe I should take a look at the new ones.
There's another one on Phantom to talk about tomorrow called Exodia, EXODIA, which looks a little bit like the Wonderland board over on Avalanche.
Oh, interesting.
So
it's called Exodia?
Yeah.
Maybe it's another fork.
Yeah, Echo, X-Ray, Oscar, Delta, India, Avalanche.
Exodia fandom. So Exodia is something with trading cards.
Yeah, it's got a token. EXOD is the token.
I can't. What's the website? Do you know?
Yeah, I'm on Exodia.finance.
Okay. Because there's like a game, a physical card game. Like if you search on Exodia on Google, there's like all these elaborate.
Well, it's one of the things we don't talk a lot about is just how the NFTs or cards integrate with games and play to earn games and how that integrates with decentralized finance. To me, that's the super interesting part because it's people coming from all these different directions into this one sort of arena that is all about the velocity of capital.
I'm pretty sure this is an ohm fork. It sounds like it at the initial description.
Maybe that's what people were talking about. Yeah. Some ohmies were talking about another channel.
I'm a little concerned about the lack of information on the website. Huh.
Yeah, so this is like, once we start having the ability to borrow on NFTs.
Yep, fork of Olympus.
Okay. So
what's their rates at right now? I bet their rates
78,000.
Ooh. See, I got to know about these in advance. This shit.
Yeah, I get them pretty early.
65,000.
Yeah, the one let me see. Let's see if we can connect the Phantom here real quick.
I am. I'm on it.
I'm just because that's probably why mine's not the current number.
Oh yeah.
You see 78 there, or do you see
65? 60? 23 million in.
So look, with all these, the words mean different things in different websites. But when I saw one like on the Wonderland one where it says bond, they call that minting. And so then I see these bond discounts, Exodus DAI and DAI is -17.
Yeah, neither of these bonds you want in on because you're losing money on these because they're already sold out.
That's what I'm thinking. So the negative yield.
The negative is so when you see the positive like on Ohm and Wonderland, that means they're still good.
Right. Okay. So treasury balance. Well, anyhow, one to think about.
The token's at 11,947.
Yeah, we might have gotten in a little late on that one.
Yeah, well, look, there's only 2 million in there. The question is whether it's legit, right? Because I'm going to, from now on, I'll probably only take a look at the ones that I know have had a conversation with the team at home. Because also, this is a complex system, right? So just copy pasting this shit may not mean may not be great for you.
Yeah, I'm still going to see if they're talking about it in this channel. Chi DAO is getting talked about a little bit. Another like Dex like thing. Matic, Ghost. A lot of people are doing that Avagachi Ghost land sale. I think Thursday.
Oh,
Which I haven't. I just haven't gotten in on those yet. I might.
yeah.
But just too many. I'm just trying to like not have tokens to look at. I'm trying to like winnow that list down because it's kind of creeped up. So, but yeah, so we'll talk about those, and don't forget PBR. Get in on that. Whoever's not in on it, and we will go from there.
All
Also,
right, buddy.
Balancer's one I'm starting to look at again. So take a look at that. All right, man.
All right, man. All right, folks. Thanks for watching. Love you.
All right, buddy.
See you tomorrow, Joe.
Right back at you.
Bye.
Talk to you later. Bye.